Hello and welcome back to VoteSnet. I'm your host Doc, and today we're going to be going in depth about the recent declaration to the NBA by Lonzo Ball, and we're just going to discuss this, see what everyone feels about this, and is he being overrated due to his dad talking? So we're just going to have a friendly discussion. Everyone leave a like, comment who you think should be the number one overall pick, subscribe, and just let everyone know where you think everyone is starting to pan out in this NBA draft as we get closer. It seemed like this discussion we're talking about the three clear best players it seems like so far between Lonzo Ball, Markelle Fultz, and Josh Jackson. And also, I think De'Aaron Fox? He's been getting a lot of pub lately too because how he's been playing against Lonzo Ball. So this is a fun little draft to see how everything turns out. And it's going to be, I don't know who's, it's, when they said that this draft was going to be one of the deepest that they had in a decade, I was skeptical about that, but the more I look at it, the more great players that are starting to pop out of nowhere. I wasn't very aware. I was aware of D'Anthony. No, is that how you say D? Ooh, I gotta remember how to say it, but he is good. De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, I wasn't too aware of De'Aaron Fox. I knew he was a top 10 projected from the mock drafts I looked at, but I didn't really watch him as much as Malik Monk because I followed his games since middle school. Because he had a video on World Star when I was in middle school, I think, or I might have been in early high school. Weren't together, but I seen him since his beginning of his come up, and I always thought he would be well. So I thought it was pretty cool to see him start to make this stride to be a lottery pick. And it seemed like he's in good position with that. And De'Aaron, he seemed like he's hitting his stride now in the postseason. He was always a great attacker and has great speed, but he's really showing his true colors when it came to the actual clutch times of the tournament. The only thing with that, when I ever see a player start going off during the championship or tournament time, it gets a little hyped up because so many people are starting to watch it at that time. So I don't know if the person's getting overblown a little bit, but I don't really get that feel too much with De'Aaron as I used to get with Fredette or Morrison or just some of the other basic players. Who else was like that? Greg Oden got a little pub like that too when the time came out, and I don't feel as strongly as Buddy Hield got that too. I don't feel as strongly in this scenario as I did in other ones about that's what's going on. I think that it really might be just he was getting overshadowed slightly by Malik Monk since he's a more adamant scorer in the college game, but I think that he's going to be a solid NBA player. I liked how he played. I got to start researching how I feel about all these point guards because at the beginning I felt like Lonzo was clearly the best point guard in this draft, but De'Aaron is looking really nice. Markelle has been nice. I just was always skeptical because I always seen him as a first player, so I really feel like he should move towards shooting guard. But his natural instinct to score is unparalleled, so I think that's going to transition well over to the NBA game. So that will be a fun way to see how that turns out. Another thing when you see a player, I know that I like Ben Simmons last year. I thought that he was the best player without question in last year's draft. But it just when you see a player of Folks' position to have even a worse record than Ben Simmons was, I don't even know if they got to double digit wins. And he's supposed to be one of the top players in the draft. It has me nervous to see how much of his motor is or his will to win. I wouldn't put all the blame on him because it's still on the coach to get everyone up and ready to go, but that's a worry for me. That's a sign to watch out for. I don't know. I haven't watched any of his interviews in depth detail. I need to look a little bit more than that, but just from the way he plays, he does seem like he loves the game. He goes full speed hard, and it just the injury issues I've seen as well with his knees and whatnot that has been plaguing him throughout the season. I'm just a little bit skeptical on that as well. But he seems like a great player. And Lonzo, he's been consistent, great floor general to me. He doesn't do too much, even when the situation is in the more difficult times. He's always on point, doesn't do too much, does his job, and make sure everyone's on the same page to make sure the team's in the best position to win. You can't really replicate that just by being a great player. That's just a mentality as well. So the fact that Lonzo's able to do that in college is a great sign, and I respect him for being able to do that, for making me want to be able to trust him when it comes to an NBA team, giving him the ball, being my floor general, and not trying to make it about himself and make it about everyone else. And that's the polar opposite of what his dad does. So that's a good sign too, because people learn great things from their parents, positives and negatives, and it seems like he takes both the positives and negatives from his dad and tries to make those things better, which is a good sign. So I do think Lonzo's going to be a good player, and the way he plays is a sharp contrast to what you think he would play with his father. Another great player that has been coming on with some strides I wasn't really too sure about when I first seen him was Josh Jackson. He has really great ball handling skills that I wasn't expecting for a 6'8" player. You don't see that too much. He attacks the rim. He's aggressive. He has an enjoyment for the game when you see him play. His teammates seem like they get along with him, and it just seems like he's a free flower and does what he has to do to try to get these wins. And I like that about him. I think he can play in a lot of different aspects in the NBA. I think that's a good sign for him as well. The best thing you can be in college when you're trying to be a top pick for the NBA is being diverse. And I think that Josh Jackson has that. I think Lonzo has that. And I'm starting to feel like De'Aaron Fox has that. And I think those are all great things to have to really start building your potential in the NBA. When it comes down to it, if I had to rate them, that would probably have to be another video, because I'll really look into their interviews in depth, all their highlights, and see how I feel. I'm feeling it's a tough argument right now. I like Lonzo this whole time through, but I didn't realize how great everyone literally was in the top 5. I like Malik Monk from the beginning. It just seemed like sometimes he's too. I think he gives me a feeling of a selfish player sometimes, even though I like the way he plays. So I'm skeptical on that end, but it'll be fun to see how this turns out. I think if any of those 5-6 players are picked, it's a good pickup for whoever takes them, and I'm excited to see how all this turns out. It's a good sign for the NBA. Hopefully they don't have that sit-out feeling that we see right now. So hopefully they want to play all the games. But yeah, I think it's a great sign for the NBA. I'm excited to see how this all turns out, and this is gonna be a great draft. This is my second favorite time of the NBA season after the playoffs. So yeah, with that's the end of today's episode. This has been your host, Doc, and I hope to keep seeing y'all through. Let me know who you think is your top 5 players, and if this gets enough likes, I will construct a top 5 video. Those things are real hard to make, but if this gets, I'll keep it really simple. If this gets 15 likes, I will do a top 5 on who's the top 5 players in this NBA draft. So with that, comment, like, all that good stuff, and thanks again for coming through the VoteSnet. I'm your host, Doc, and I hope to see y'all again.